Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, quick video for you here about creative drum fills, and this is particularly if you're starting out on the drums, but it doesn't have to be. This kind of applies to all levels. This will involve the three types of notes that you know at initial grade drums or grade one, and that's quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. So crotchets, quavers, and semi-quavers. Quick recap, if you don't know, crotchets are the basic pulse in music. Quarter notes, they go 1, 2, 3, 4. When we start off, we often use the word, in these sessions anyway, use the word T to help out with the rhythm of that. T, 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 T. Quavers or eighth notes go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we often use the word coffee. Coffee, 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 coffee. Then 16th notes or semi-quavers, we often use the word cappuccino. Cappuccino, 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 cappuccino. So recap, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, T, 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 T. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and coffee, 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 coffee. And 16th notes, cappuccino, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a cappuccino, 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 cappuccino. So on a really basic level, often when we very first start in somebody's first or second lesson, I guess, their first ever drum fill might be quarter notes around the kit. Classic format when you begin is to go snare drum, first tom, second tom, floor tom, or eighth notes around the kit, or 16th notes around the kit. So those are the kind of the basic starting point. That's not the idea I'm going to present in this video, but they're the basic starting point, and I'll demonstrate those quickly now. So say that we did 3 bars of a straight 8 feel groove and a 1 bar drum fill. That's the first bar. That's the second. Now quarter notes. Alright, so second bar, third bar, eighth note drum fill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, second bar, third bar, drum fill, 16ths. So there are 3 absolutely basic note value core drum fills, and that idea of going snare drum, high tom, mid tom, floor tom, I think when guys and girls start off is a great way of just keeping each beat separate. It's a nice way to work. The idea that you can then move on to is where the creative part comes in, is changing those note values up, right? So say that you did, I don't know, quarter notes, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, tea, tea, coffee, cappuccino. That would give you. So the point I'm making here is once you know those 3 very basic note values that you learn right at the start of drumming or music, you can then, on each beat, where you can choose one of the 3 things, either a tea or a coffee or a cappuccino. So for example, coffee, coffee, tea, coffee. Or cappuccino, coffee, cappuccino, tea. You getting this? So at first, again, especially if you're like a beginner starting out, I would say go beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. And it's just a case on each beat or each drum, choosing one of those options. I'm going to do my tea, tea, cappuccino, coffee drum fill here. Check it out. Here we go, and tea, tea, cappuccino, coffee. I'll do it again. Tea, tea, cappuccino, coffee. Here we go, and 1, 2, 3. But that's just an example. Now, I would say there's 2 ways of going about this that people like to do. There's a certain type of person who likes to write these out. So you might take, I don't know, 5 or 10, just write out like either the notes or write tea, tea, coffee, cappuccino. Write yourself out a few different ones. Remember, there's 4 beats in the bar, and on each beat you're choosing a tea, a coffee, or a cappuccino, right? So there's another group of people, I'd say, who just likes to wing it. I think I'm probably one of those who just likes to wing it, and both those ways are pretty good, honestly. As long you're winging it, if you're winging it, the only thing I'd say is just make sure you're changing it up each time, and just think of one like while you're playing the groove. I don't know, coffee, tea, cappuccino. Just see what you can come out with. Now, the final thing I'd say about all this is once you've got a few that you really like, or if you're working with one and you think, oh, that's quite cool, say that you're doing coffee, cappuccino, tea, you don't then, once you're sort of getting a bit more secure with it, you don't have to stick to snare drum, high tom, mid tom, floor tom. That's when the really creative fun can start. Say that you're doing, well, how about, if you've got a rhythm and you've played it a few times, bum, 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 and you're kind of getting happy with that, just start to experiment a little bit. Just see what you can come out with. As long as the rhythm stays solid, it's going to work. Like, you know it's going to flow, you know it's going to fit. Bum, 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 bum. How you orchestrate that around the kit, well, that's the fun you can have with it, man. So finally here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4, coffee, cappuccino, tea, and I'm just going to play it some different ways. This time I'll do 1 bar groove, 1 bar drum fill. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basic version. Hopefully you're getting the idea, and there is no limit to how you can place it around the kit. So if you're just starting off with drum fills and you find yourself saying, oh, I'm struggling to create my own fills, simple note values, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, tea, coffee and cappuccino. Say that we're doing here in this simple first example, a 1 bar drum fill, 1, 2, 3, 4. Play beat 1 on the snare, beat 2 on the high tom, beat 3 on the mid tom, beat 4 on the floor tom. On each of those beats, just decide, am I going to play a quarter note, an eighth note, or a 16th note? And then just start to come up with some different rhythms. Once you've got some rhythms that you like, you can then really have some fun and start orchestrating them around the kit in some different ways. That'll get you going, being creative. I'll do another video soon, sort of moving on from this. Just quickly, what you can do is you don't have to start your drum fill on beat 1. So you could try starting on beat 3 or on beat 4. For example, say if you're on beat 3, you've got 2 beats to fill there. So 3 and 4, and you might do coffee, cappuccino, you might do cappuccino, coffee, but I'll get to that. If you nail down some drum fills that you like, 1 whole bar long, and we'll get to some more advanced ones after that. That'll get you going. Thanks so much. Any questions, give us a shout. I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.